Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Hack TV. I've made a special video on the forgotten giant of MMA, Hong Man Choi. Watch the full video to know just how good the 7'2", 166 kilo giant was back in his prime. And also, don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, liking, and commenting down below. Hong Man Choi is a South Korean kickboxer, mixed martial artist, and a former Syrian wrestler. This Korean monster started off his kickboxing career in 2005 in Seoul in an event called K1 World Grand Prix, where he first faced the Japanese fighter Wakashoyo Sunichi. Being a former sumo wrestler, Sunichi pushes back Hongman using his mass into the corner, but the giant maintains his composure. Hongman drops Sunichi with a left jab, which stuns him temporarily, but gets back up. Choi, being the superior striker, connects with a hard knee and a few punches, which prove too much for the Japanese fighter to handle, and Sunichi goes down again, forcing the ref to stop the match. Hongman Choi next faced Akebono, who, weighing around 233 kilos, is also a giant himself. Hongman threw a barrage of punches, which Akebono was struggling to cope with, resulting in their corner throwing in the towel, declaring the Korean giant as the winner. Hongman would face Akebono 2 more times, but we'll get to that story later on. Hongman Choi next faced Kayoklai, a Muay Thai fighter from Thailand, in the K1 tournament finals. Kayoklai kept a safe distance away from the bigger Hongman's strikes and began timing his attacks. Kayoklai got caught and dropped a couple of times by Hongman but didn't go down. The fight resulted in a majority draw, which forced the committee to conduct an extra round, which Hongman won, declaring him the 2005 K1 Seoul Grand Prix champion. Hongman would fight 2 months later in the same year in the K1 Grand Prix event conducted in Hiroshima, Japan, against American Tom Howard. Hongman started connecting with his punches and cut Tom Howard near his eyebrow. He stopped Tom with a devastating knee to the face, which resulted in a KO win for the giant. Hongman would fight Akebono for the second time again in Hawaii a month later. Akebono tries to pressure the Korean giant but ends up eating a heavy knee to the face and a couple of hard punches, resulting in a TKO finish within the first round. Hongman Choi would face the American Bob Sapp 2 months later in Osaka, Japan, in the K1 final elimination match. Bob Sapp was already a huge star in Japan. Both the fighters start out swinging, with Bob throwing haymakers trying to connect with the Korean giant, who stays calm and technical. Bob Sapp is always dangerous the first few minutes into a fight, but his stamina has never been that great. Hongman Choi takes advantage of this and uses his reach and superior technical striking to get the unanimous decision victory at the end. Hongman Choi faces Remy Bonjasky a month after Bob Sapp's fight and tastes his first defeat. Remy fought a smart technical fight, keeping his distance from the Korean giant and chopping away at his legs with brutal leg kicks. Remy's defense was also very impressive, including his footwork, which resulted in him getting the decision win. Hongman Choi takes some time off from all the action and returns to K1 World Grand Prix the following year in April 2006, which was held in Las Vegas to face the American Sylvester Turkey, aka the Predator. The American tries to get a few hits in, but the giant caught Sylvester with a heavy jab and drops him multiple times, resulting in a unanimous decision victory. Hongman Choi faces the legendary Dutch kickboxer Semi Schild a month later in June. Being 6 feet 11 and weighing in at 130 kilos, Semi himself is a giant of a man, so there wouldn't be a huge size and reach advantage like before for the Korean giant. The fight went the distance with both the fighters trading blows. In the end, via a split decision, Hongman Choi was declared the victor, which is still disputed to this day. Hongman faces Akebono again for the third time after a month post the Semi Schild match and decimates him yet again. The giant's heavy punches prove too much for Akebono and he collapses visibly hurt. Hongman Choi faces a French kickboxer named Jerome Libaner next after 2 months in September in a K1 World Grand Prix final elimination match. Jerome's speed, timing, and his movements give him an edge. Hongman struggles to connect with good punches and ends up losing the match via unanimous decision after an extra 4th round, since the first 3 rounds were declared a majority draw. Post this match, Jerome said, and I quote, "He is dangerous. His knees are already almost at the level of my head. He's not human, but he's a good guy and I like him. He's very tough, maybe the strongest guy in K1. He has hard bones. When I kicked him, it hurt my leg. I'm sure with more experience, in 2 years, no one will be able to knock him out." Hongman Choi faces the Nigerian-born fighter Bobby Ologun in December of 2006 in an event called K1 Dynamite. An MMA match was set up unlike the usual kickboxing bouts Hongman was used to. Bobby rushes in with a flying kick and trips. Hongman gets a hold of him in the ground and knocks him out with a few clean shots to the dome, resulting in a KO victory within 30 seconds of the very first round. Hongman Choi returns the following year in 2007 for a match against Samoan-born kickboxer Mighty Mo, held in Yokohama, Japan. Mighty Mo hands Hongman his first knockout loss in his career with a heavy overhand right, which leaves the giant unable to continue, declaring Mighty Mo as the victor. Hongman Choi returns after a month post his knockout loss to face the American Mike Malone. Mike fights a good fight against the Korean giant but is knocked down several times in the match and is unable to continue due to a leg injury, declaring Hongman Choi as the winner. After 3 months off, Hongman Choi returns in August to face the Canadian heavyweight Gary Goodridge in a K1 event held in Hong Kong. The giant seems to find the right timing and connects with multiple knees to the body and finally finishes off Gary in the first round with a knee to the head and a couple of punches to seal the deal. Since his K1 debut in 2005, Hongman has fought using an orthodox stance. However, in this fight, he adopted for the first time a southpaw stance. This was a strategy by his coach for an eventual rematch with Mighty Mo to avoid his overhand right. The strategy worked out as Hongman Choi was scheduled a rematch with Mighty Mo the following month and pulled off a decision victory. Mo stated post his loss, and I quote, "Choi seemed a little bit stronger than before. I hit him with some good shots and he didn't fall down, so I was surprised. Actually harder than the ones I hit him with before. He must have been practicing taking punches or something." The giant faces the French kickboxer Jerome Libana in a rematch in December of 2007, which unfortunately turned out similar to the first match, resulting in a loss via unanimous decision. Just 3 weeks later, Hongman Choi faces the legendary Russian MMA fighter and then current Pride heavyweight champion, Fedor Emelianenko, in an event called Yaranoka in Saitama, Japan. Choi opened the fight, landing on top of Fedor during a takedown attempt, after which the Russian attempted an armbar from the bottom to no avail. The sequence repeated itself the second time, and Fedor showed the difference in experience and locked the armbar, forcing Choi to tap in the first round. This footage of Fedor's entire body hanging off a single arm of Hongman shows just how deceptively huge this Korean giant is. Hongman took a long break and came back on September 27, 2008 at the K1 final elimination in Seoul. He fought against the then current heavyweight champion Badr Hari. Hari was unable to face the giant with his heavy punches in the first 2 rounds. In the third round, he began targeting Choi's ribcage with punches and kicks, which started taking their toll on his body. The match was declared a draw and another extra 4th round was to be conducted, but Hongman's corner threw in the towel, declaring Hari the winner. Choi returned after 2 months to face the New Zealand kickboxer Ray Sifo. Sifo proved hard to hit with his slick head movement and his impressive offensive striking, like his signature spinning back fist, which caught the giant off guard a couple of times. He outstruck Hongman Choi and won the match via unanimous decision. Hongman Choi fought 3 weeks later against the Croatian legend Mirko Cro Cop in a dynamite event. Cro Cop did land multiple low kicks to Hongman Choi's legs through the rounds, which eventually caused enough damage for the fight to be stopped in a KO for Cro Cop. Hongman was not as fast or quick to react in this fight compared to his previous showings, which was another factor for him losing this fight. Hongman returned in 2009 after a 5-month layoff to face an American, Jose Canseco, in an MMA event called Dream. Choi finished Jose via TKO with punches, forcing Jose to tap. Hongman Choi faces Japanese MMA fighter Ikuhisa Minowa after 4 months on Dream. Minowa tries to get the giant to the ground multiple times during the fight, seeing as Choi's ground game was not his strong suit. Eventually, Choi gets caught in a nasty heel hook in the second round and loses the fight via submission. The Korean giant took some time off from the sport of MMA and kickboxing to focus more on his singing and acting career. Hongman Choi was not without his fair share of health problems, as he discovered he failed his medical tests due to a tumor in his brain, which resulted in him being relieved from his military duty in the Korean military. Eventually, he had this tumor removed through surgery. In July 2015, after 5 years and 9 months of inactivity in combat sports, Choi made his comeback against Brazilian fighter Carlos Toyota in an event called Road Fighting Championships. Weighing in at 140 kilos, the lowest to this day, he had lost a lot of muscle mass at this point in his career and looked like a shell of his former self. Choi lost the fight via knockout in the first round as a result of multiple punches to the face and jaw. Toyota was the second fighter besides Mighty Mo who knocked out Choi with punches to the head. After a brutal knockout like that, Choi took nearly 5 months off and came back to face Chinese MMA fighter Wan Chao Luo. The fight was stopped by Luo's corner, which ended in a TKO finish, making Hongman Choi the victor. The Giant's next fight was 4 months later against another Chinese MMA fighter, Aorigil, in Road Fighting Championships. Hongman Choi connected with a vicious left hook which knocked Aorigil out cold, winning the match. Hongman Choi's last MMA fight was a rematch against Mighty Mo in September of 2016, whom he had fought twice already in K1. Choi honestly didn't look the same, and his brutal knockout was a result of that. In my opinion, Choi should have never accepted this match in the first place. The Giant had his fair share of financial troubles and also lost a string of fights to his much younger opponents, with his most recent loss coming via KO again last year in 2019. Whatever the current situation may be with Hongman Choi, it can't be disputed that back in his prime, He fought a murderer's row of amazing fighters and beat a couple of them, which was very impressive given the fact that he had to overcome his health issues and physical disabilities. The Korean giant was also pretty fast for his size in his prime and had the power to knock out anyone. If we look back at all the other giants over 7 feet tall who got into MMA and kickboxing, I feel Hongman Choi is the most successful giant to ever do it. No other giant had his level of striking prowess nor his speed, which was the main factor for his success. I'm not counting Stefan Struve in this equation, guys. Well, that's it from me for today's video. Do subscribe, like right now, share and like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to click the bell icon to get instant notifications about my latest videos. Bye bye guys, as always, take care.